Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Mark.
I'm Britton.
All right, and today we're talking about 2099, The Soldier Protocol, right?
Yeah, with David Arquette.
Yeah, with David Arquette. All right, so let's get started on that. Now, the plot of the movie is actually not about David Arquette hardly at all.
Yeah, he oddly enough was not the main character. He was a supporting character, a strong supporting character, but not the main character.
So the plot of the movie is that there's this prisoner who is wrongfully imprisoned, so they say, and he had a little bit of an accident where he's in a wheelchair, and so he's brought into this this place called the Wheel, which is an experimental facility, which is kind of rebuilding, his broken bones and things like that, and they're performing cruel tests and. Well, actually, that's it. He sleeps a lot of it, and
yeah, a lot of this guy's sleeping. He looked like not Orlando Bloom.
Yeah,
and most of it was them giving him different doses of different chemicals and different nanoparticles, and then beating the shit out of him and breaking his bones so he can
they can heal.
Yeah, it was pretty much like Goku.
Yeah,
where he got the shit beaten. Where he got the shit beaten out of him, and then would heal for half a season
and come back stronger.
Yeah,
and then it turns out, I guess, if I could follow the plot of the movie, where like towards the end, the powers that be kind of prove that they wanted him to escape from this wheel facility. They wanted this doctor,
the lady who looked like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. The main chairman was a lady who looked like Keanu Reeves and always bobbled her head around like a freaking like a bobblehead.
Yeah,
and so she wanted the new doctor that they hired to kind of betray the company and help this man escape.
Yeah,
and she is now a new test subject, and that was basically where the movie ended. Oh, spoiler alert.
Well, I guess it really didn't. It's not much of a spoiler because it doesn't really illustrate why. Like they said, okay, we could start phase 2 now, but it didn't really say why it was phase 2 and why they needed to escape to in order to achieve it.
Yeah, in fact, it's not really spoiler because we're not telling you any of their motivations or anything. But that's because we weren't told them either.
Yeah, we don't really know. I think the only motivation we were told was like, we got a government contract.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yep. I know there was a long speech from David Arquette, who actually I don't know his character's name by this, so I'm just going to call him David Arquette, who just kept on saying, "Man, we're gonna, the processes that we're doing here to the human body is gonna rebuild the human body somehow."
Yeah, it's like we're rebuilding the human race,
and then we're gonna go to space and technology and blah. He just started spouting buzzwords.
Yeah,
we're space, global warming, soldiers.
And here's the thing: like we usually, in certain movies, especially in films like the last one we watched, similar to this, like The Titan, we're usually strong on the side of the scientists when it's a life or death scenario for the entire species of humanity. But the stakes weren't really that high in this.
The stakes weren't even clear in this.
Yeah,
there doesn't seem to be any earth-ending cataclysm or anything. In fact, the only time that we see outside of this facility was the woman driving to and from work, and she had a pretty nice car. And apparently, she was a recent graduate from some kind of scientific school, so there were still doctorates being handed out. So it doesn't seem like anything was affected that they needed to rework the human genome.
Yeah, and they dropped the buzzword or the buzz phrase, the 100 Monkeys Protocol.
Yeah, and
you do not drop the buzz phrase 100 Monkeys Protocol without telling us what the 100 Monkeys Protocol is.
Yeah, I'd like to. I would for one, I would really like to know what the 100 Monkeys Protocol is, and two, I want to know why she was so famous for it. Is the protocol something that is bad in science, or is it something that had never been accomplished in science? How did she factor into all this?
I don't know. I'm led to believe it's like DEFCON levels.
We're up to 100 monkeys.
Yeah, well, that's what we were doing. Like throughout the movie, we were just gauging the the levels of the experiment by how many monkeys. Like, this is at least 200 monkeys right here.
We can never break through the 100 monkeys. This doctor did it. How did you do that? Like, I want to have a sequel. Actually, I don't. But if I was going to make a sequel, it would be called 2099, 2, the 100 Monkeys Protocol, and it would be a prequel all about how she did the 100 Monkeys Protocol. And I don't think there would be any monkeys in it, because this movie has to continue its tradition of disappointing.
Well, I would want to, firstly, I would want it to be a spin-off and not directly related.
Maybe a TV show?
And, no, it's a movie, and I want them to surpass the protocol. So I want it to be called 101 Monkeys.
Like, okay, I can get behind that. 99, 100, 101 monkeys. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good.
And then there's this cruel lady who wants to make them into a coat.
Coat nothing. She wants to make them into a moped.
Yeah, a series of butlers.
Now, here's a question. I know we don't always ask it with movies of this caliber.
Yeah.
But I do feel that it's kind of important to ask here, which is, if we were writing this movie, how would we make it a better movie?
Well, you know how, what I would want to do.
Yeah, I know, 100 monkeys.
Oh, not just that. Like,
more science?
Yeah, and what I would want in a movie is definitely not what the John Q. Public would prefer in a movie.
Well, here's the crazy thing, because as I was watching a movie, I was thinking of that. I was thinking, how, if we were given the chance to write the script, how would we improve it? And I don't know how I would improve it, because I don't really know what the movie is supposed to be about.
Yeah, it's really such a bare-bones script that it needs more to it in order to be improved.
And and if they gave us this vague idea of a guy a prisoner breaking out of a wheel facility, that they're just beating him for some sort of science experiment, I guess I have one or two ideas that could make it better.
You know what this needs? This movie needed to be a combination of The Titan and this movie. If you put those two, if you put elements of those two movies together, you might get a competent movie.
I know I'm hesitant to bring The Titan into this, because the Titan wasn't a good movie by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it was not.
I would do it more. I guess I would do more focus on. Well, here's the thing. That's the big problem right there. Focus.
Yeah.
Because they seem to jump between a focus of this woman coming in and this new doctor coming in and learning this how the wheel facility worked and helping him escape, and the prisoner who is trying to escape.
And that was another thing, is that they didn't really discuss her motivation as to why she wants to help him. Like, she has a trail of dead monkeys behind her, and like all of a sudden she grows a conscience with this guy. I guess he is a. I guess
one man's worth more than 100 monkeys.
I guess he's a lot prettier than 100 monkeys when it comes to test subjects. So maybe that's a motivator. But
she wanted to. She couldn't find love among the 100 monkeys, so she's trying to find it here. That was her. 100 Monkeys, I think, is actually just a dating website. It's way better than 100 peacocks and 50 baboons, 40 elephants, and
plenty of fish.
Oh, that's good. I like it. I enjoyed that. So yeah, focus might have been one thing. I believe I would have done it as I would have made her actually be the main star. I know that a lot of the scenes did feature her. Yeah. But I would really want the action almost to be in the background as she's experiencing it.
That's a good idea. Have her kind of a a little bit of kind of a fish out of water type deal, like the new guy being brought into this. Maybe cut out the whole 100 monkeys thing.
That's the seller right there.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Maybe we can get rid of 100 monkeys.
We have to, in order to make her character not stupid. We have to kind of cut out the 100 monkeys protocol, because if she's willing to kill all these monkeys, why is she then batting an eye at the human? Yeah, the human.
So yeah, I guess I would make her brand new at this. She's coming in to learn the ropes.
Yeah.
David Arquette can even be kind of the teacher, make it almost a training day thing where she realizes very quickly that he's that he's up to no good, or he's really been doing this for so long that he's lost a bit of his humanity, and she doesn't want to lose her humanity in the same way that he has, so she's secretly trying to sabotage this, but it's subtle at first. She wants this test subject to survive because it's the first test subject that she's been exposed to, and she's in an unfamiliar world.
Yeah, she kind of starts off as a little bit starry-eyed, a bit of an idealist.
Yeah,
thinking that she's really doing this for the betterment of mankind. Well, it's more about money and bonuses and government contracts. And
she kind of learns that through this sabotaging that she does, that she's the only way for her to, I guess, be her conscience to be clean is to help this guy more and more, until by the end she is so battle hardened from helping this guy and helping him escape the facility that she has become the same thing that the David Arquette character has become. And instead of David Arquette, I would want John Malkovich. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's no bad time to use a John Malkovich. I used to rag on John Malkovich a lot, but I have since Turnaround, I've seen the light that is John Malkovich, and I think just his kind of weird cadence and the fact delivery.
The fact that he's subhuman to begin with, kind of would deliver well with a character like that. We're beating him so that we can learn from him. What don't you get about this? We're going to put him on the table, and then we're going to take him apart. Is he Swedish? I want to take him to the room, and then we can take out his parts to make the science bigger. We will make bigger parts for the man. And then we will bonus and make many meatballs. See, I would now have him doing the science experiments with somebody else's hands doing it, like the Swedish chef. He's throwing things around. He does not need this spinal column. Bork, bork, bork. You know what? We might as well just put the Swedish chef in there. We're going to go all out. $20.99, the Muppet Protocol. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to do this, man. That's Janice, by the way. Oh, okay. From Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. I can't do this. That's a terrible Janice. Was she the one being experimented on? She was the doctor. She's the doctor. I want Kermit to be the one experimented on. He's carving Robin's name into his flesh. I just want to see Robin again. Why wouldn't he carve Piggy? Because, he doesn't like Piggy. Piggy can be the new idealist. I guess. That makes sense. She falls in love with him. Yeah. Open the door! So it's Kermit in there. He's getting experimented on. He's doing backflips and handstand push-ups like the guy. And all the soldiers masked soldiers that come in have the big gonzo nose, but it's still on part of their mask. Is it the gonzo nose, or are they all like Sam the Eagle? No, Sam the Eagle is the Keanu Reeves. Yeah. You guys are a bunch of weirdos. So we're gonna cut you open. And I guess, who would you have on that, I guess that council you would have? Oh, well, easy. Two of them are easy. Statler and Waldorf. Oh, we're gonna cut you open, and then we're gonna find out what makes you tick. They're a bunch of weirdos. Yeah, maybe we should murder them. No!
They're much more brutal. They don't have any good jokes.
Yeah, like they took that special that chemical that David Arquette was
the AE57.
Yeah, the AE57, where it just reduces his his ability to be empathetic.
Yeah, it destroys his empathy receptors or whatever.
And that's what they just wanted to murder people, but it's funny to them.
I haven't seen someone bleed like that since Lincoln. Oh, oh, that was dark.
Time to spray up. Oh man!
See, on one side, I want to say we shouldn't be writing this movie.
Yeah.
But I just, in 5 minutes, we found a way to make this movie much better. Put Muppets in it. That always seems to be our...
Like, if you have a shitty movie, all you have to do is put Muppets in it, and it's already 1,000 times better.
Except Wizard of Oz, somehow.
Okay, there's an exception. Well, it's because we didn't write it.
Yeah, if we wrote the Muppets Wizard of Oz, it would have been a little bit different, I guess. Actually, I don't know how I would have done a Muppets Wizard of Oz.
I think I know how we would do it. We wouldn't.
Songs. More songs.
More, yeah. And we would base it off the movie.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. That really is a tough thing to do. Like, that is a tall order. Muppets Wizard of Oz. Like, I want to do something better, or more effervescent or fresher, like Muppets Hunchback of Notre Dame. We had a discussion about this, what Muppets movies you would do, and I suggested Muppets Caligula.
And I guess you want, like, Muppets Little Mermaid, but the actual Little Mermaid.
Miss Piggy turns to foam at the end and dies.
Like the process of her getting her legs is extraordinarily painful. She certainly yells a lot.
Let's see if she's still doing it. He's got her for some reason in a tub. Let's see if she's still doing it. Opens the door.
Like Splash.
Yeah, opens the door. Yep, she's still doing it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I imagine he throws a grapefruit at her head, like in
Fear and Loathing.
White rabbit.
So to her, it's not physically painful as much as it's just a bad trip.
Yeah, it's a bad trip.
You can turn your back on a piggy, but you never turn your back on a drug. See, that's a good one. Fear and Loathing
with Muppets.
Yeah,
oh my god!
Fear and Loathing
phenomenal.
on Sesame Street.
Man, I know. We kind of it makes sense to make Kermit, Hunter S. Thompson's character, but I know there's definitely a better voice.
Well, here's a funny thing: is his lawyer? I think it was Dr. Gonzo or something like that, because that's the like they were doing like the Gonzo type journalism. I'm like, boy, if that doesn't just paint a picture of who should that be. So Kermit's the obvious choice, but I don't know. Fozzie might be.
Yeah, that's a good choice as well.
Let's see.
I guess it would have to be Kermit.
Let's see. Honestly, let's think. Like, I know the first words are, we're just past Barstow, somewhere in the desert, when the drugs started to kick in. So who would be a good voice that would kind of get that would kind of match that cadence?
Rolf.
Oh, that's a perfect one.
What was it?
We're just past Barstow, somewhere in the desert.
When the drugs are starting to kick in.
Yeah, and it's funny because, well, actually, that's not really funny for this reason. This is just a piece of trivia I'm having, but I think Rolf was Jim Henson's favorite Muppet.
Oh, really?
Jim Henson said it was a Muppet that was closest to who he was.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah. So, if we turn him into a filthy drug addict, I don't think that would at all ruin the the vibe of Jim Henson.
And then you have, I guess, Piggy would be what, Christina Ricci's character?
Piggy will be... she'll be all the lizards that we see.
She's, Gary Busey's character.
I always forget that he's in this movie.
Yeah, he has that cop that...
Yeah.
Didn't he make him... is it implied that he made him make out with him?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen that movie like 2 or 3 times, and each time I've had a different opinion of it.
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw it, I was of the opinion that it was okay.
Yeah.
Same
here.
Second time I saw it, I was of the opinion that, man, this is good, but it's really kind of depressing. But the third time I watched it, I was the opposite.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it finally just kind of clicked for me.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous that, like, first time I saw it, I thought, like, all right, this is, it's a little bit overhyped. Mm-hmm. And the second time I saw it, I think I only saw it the 2 times. I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
Yeah. And the funny thing of all of it is that there's a drug convention, like, towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And the guy who's up there speaking about drugs, about don't do drugs and everything, is actually Mr. Noodle from Sesame Street, the original Mr. Noodle. So this can be done, is all I'm saying.
I'm kind of surprised Hunter S. Thompson didn't make a cameo. I'm sure he did. Oh, he did? Who was he in the movie?
He walked by Hunter S. Thompson in one of the Vegas scenes. It was towards the end, or towards I think in the 3rd act somewhere, and he walked by Hunter S. Thompson. He even made like a weird, mention of it. And Hunter S. Thompson kind of turned, looked at him, and he's like, oh, and that was about it.
Kind of like the Tommy Wiseau meets Tommy Wiseau at the end of Disaster Artist.
Oh yeah, and it was kind of that was kind of funny because James Franco, I really felt, just out Wiseau'd Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah. Like, I guess Tommy Wiseau's getting up there in age, and going up against a James Franco is hard.
I mean, the good thing about movies like that is you can tell when an actor is doing his job or her job when you kind of forget that you're looking at an actor doing it. So I had the same sensation when I watched the movie Ray. I forgot all the way up until the end of the movie that this was not Jamie Foxx. This was not Wanda from In Living Color. This was, I had to remind myself of that. And the same thing with James Franco as Tommy Wiseau. I watched that, and there was bits and parts throughout the movie where it would just hit me like, oh wow, that's the Green Goblin. That's the second Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
That's the all-powerful Wizard of Oz. That's not actually Tommy Wiseau, but I believed in the illusion that he was selling.
Yeah, and he sold it perfectly. It is probably it's a better version of The Room than the actual Room.
It's weird because I feel that to really appreciate that movie, you probably should watch The Room first.
You can't really watch. Like, if you didn't see The Room, you're going to be awfully confused.
You're going to be, at the very least, you're going to be missing something about it. And I remember, again, that's a movie I think I've only seen maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
But every single time it was a work of art almost. I remember the first time we watched it because I already knew everything about The Room going in to it because there's been 100 reviews of it. I think I saw a few reviews. So I think that was one of the first, I'm going to say, handful of movies we watched when we got our apartment.
Oh yeah, it was. I think it was in case 1 of the bad movie cases.
And I remember we got done watching it, and even though I don't think we really fully appreciated the awful that we'd seen. We still enjoyed it enough to write a song about it.
Yeah, I think we also saw the Riff Tracks version as well.
I've never seen the Riff Tracks version.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
It's pretty funny.
But that was the first time. Then my friend, a couple weeks later, my friend Erica wanted to watch a bad movie, so we picked that one. And that was, I think, the first real bad movie that she saw, and she loved it. She loved how bad it was. We still talk about it every now and again. We'll be hanging out, and she'll say, "You want me to order a pizza?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine. I already ordered a pizza."
Oh, you think of everything.
That's how I always respond. Yeah, think of everything.
I think that was the one line from the movie that I missed. That wasn't in there.
Yeah, I didn't see that in the Disaster Artist. Every other moment from the movie was kind of recreated. Perfectly. But that was the one, and that was kind of a kicker because that is my favorite bad line from that movie.
You're tearing me apart?
No, the pizza.
The
pizza line. You're tearing me apart. Oh yeah, that's a classic. You couldn't not have that in the movie. They even set that up in the movie with him watching Marlon Brando in or not Marlon Brando, James Dean in the movie Rebel Without a Cause. You are tearing me apart. So yeah.
Man.
So good bad movie. But do you remember the first bad movie that we ever watched in the apartment?
I think it was Ginger Dead Man.
Yep.
And I remember a long time ago you saw that on the shelf, and this was back when I was still in my my pretentious college film student phase.
Snob.
And I looked at that and I scoffed like, ugh, that looks awful.
And I was trying to convince you, and I remember saying, Britton, this is going to be terrible, but this is a new level of terrible.
Why would I want to watch that voluntarily?
We could just sit back and make fun of it, because this was at a Blockbuster Video back when they were still around.
Yeah.
And you were saying, oh, I don't want to waste my afternoon watching a movie I know I'm not going to like. Britton, you might not like the movie itself, but you might enjoy the experience of the bad movie.
Yeah, and you were 100% right. It's funny, like, a new level of bad, and we've seen films that are exponentially worse.
Man, I can't believe that there was a time when Ginger Dead Man just seemed like the worst kind of movie that we could watch.
Like now that seems it. Ginger Dead Man is Citizen Kane compared to some of the stuff we've seen.
There's almost tears of bad movie. I don't mean tears like that come from my mouth or my mouth. I spit tears and I cry saliva.
That's called drool. Mouth tears are drooled, Mark.
Oh. See, we learn something every day.
When I look at the sky, I cry mouth tears.
No. Wait, why? Are you staring at the sun?
Yeah.
So it's making you drool?
Yeah.
I cry eye tears also. Did I tell you the story of how I one time I just stared at the sun for no reason. I was playing with my little people, the little, with the schoolhouse and everything, called Little People, and I still remember the guy had a blue body, because there's only body and head and no arms or legs or anything, and this guy was actually wearing a yellow hat, and so I was playing with him on the floor, and I just stopped and I looked out the window of my room right at the sun, and I just stared at it for a minute. I don't know why. It really happened just as I described. Huh? And I stared at it for a minute, and then I stopped and I went back to normal. It took a while for my eyes to kind of readjust, but since then, that blue man, he was just a little purpler than he was before.
Yeah.
There was a little bit, and it hasn't really gone away.
I kind of did something similar. Like, when I was a kid, I used to bring a flashlight to bed, and
now it's a fleshlight. Go on, I'm sorry.
I would do it. I would bring it to bed at first when I was little, because I was scared of monsters, and then later on I would do it because I was bored.
Because you became the monster. But go on.
I was gonna try and do that one line from Watchmen about being stuck in jail with him, but I didn't know how to make it work. But anyway, eventually, what I would do is I would eventually get bored and then just stick the flashlight all the way up into my eye and turn it on until the eye started, like, not seeing well.
Yeah.
And I did it because then when I, took the flashlight away, like, I couldn't see anything. Like, it was because the pupil constricted so much that the little amount of light in the room would just be black.
Yeah.
And I did that so much that I think one of my eyes sees a little bit more warmer color than the other one.
For instance, the thing that we have on the TV screen right now, the Audacity or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That color, to me, is just a little bit purplish. Okay. It's a royaler blue than just a regular blue. Okay, so that's not my son thing. Although we both have bad eyes.
Yeah, like I'm a bad litmus test for good eye care.
when they had that dress, that black and gold dress.
Oh yeah,
or
the
whatever.
black and gold dress.
I just saw blue.
I just saw black.
I didn't see a dress at all. But the other thing I would do now, I can't say that this was because I was a dumb kid.
Yeah.
This was me as an adult. This was post Air Force. What I would do when I had my old phone, my old flip phone. I don't know if you remember what my text message tone was for that. It was the beep 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 beep.
Oh yeah,
beep, from the
little Power Rangers.
Yeah, the little Power Rangers.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I remember one time I think I was texting you actually, and I was just sitting there laying down in bed about to go to sleep, and we were just joking about the Legend of Zelda. I think it's a weird thing to remember, but I remember thinking, I'll turn the volume all the way up, and I'll put the speaker right up to my ear when this really loud beep 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 comes, and man, I can say it rocked me. It physically rocked me. It was just I heard that first beep. I was just waiting. I was like, oh, it's gonna come. And there was a few seconds right before it happened where I thought, what the hell am I doing? Why am I beep 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 beep? And then it was just it was like World War II, after
I do feel a little bad that I'm somehow responsible for hearing loss in you.
Huh? So yeah, that was... I guess I never really grew out of being dumb to my body.
Dumb and self-destructive.
Yeah, I mean, you see me punch my feet.
I do.
I did it earlier. I was so mad at the movie. I was punching my feet.
Man.
I don't even remember why. I think it was because the guy was laying there sleeping, and we had to watch every second of it.
I think it was that, and just the wooden acting.
But yeah, that's the sound of me punching my feet. But to be fair, it is a rather pleasant feeling.
Like,
have you ever punched your foot, Britton?
No.
Well, you should. Maybe then you would stop getting on my case for punching my feet.
Like, I'd criticize you, but it doesn't look like you'll ever have, fallen arches.
Like, I have really, really good arches.
Like, those are some prime candidate arches.
This is a supermodel's arch. I'm a foot model.
Oh, like, Danny DeVito would like you.
Oh, I know. I was thinking about putting a little bit of lotion on my foot and then maybe dumping some mayonnaise on it. I don't know what foot models do. I don't know. What do foot models do?
Wear shoes.
Well, then you can't see my arches. Maybe I'll wear Crocs.
Like some high arch shoes, like
stilettos.
Like a shoe that has such an arch in it, it would be impossible for anyone else with without a deformed foot like yours.
Wow! How did you get such beautiful arches? You can do it. Anyone can do it. Take your fist, ball it up nice and good. Just punch that old arch right in there. Why? What do you mean, why? You just punch the arch. Look, it fits perfectly in the arch of your foot. It's like the theory of Pangea, where you can put all the different pieces together. I think that's how I formed. I formed fist to foot.
Like, usually in the womb, so you kind of form asshole first.
But nope.
But no, yeah.
Fist and feet
together, and it's kind of like the what's that myth where everyone's searching for their better half?
I guess that sounds like. Oops, sorry. That sounds good enough. Everyone's searching for their better half. The myth.
Yeah, and I forgot. But yeah, that's you punching your foot.
That's your better half. See,
your better half is a foot.
I like to think when I came out, they saw my foot and my fist and my foot together. Okay, we're gonna have to do a little bit of. They just yank it off.
I imagine it was like everyone would. It was like a 50s horror movie where everyone's shocked and the nurses are fainting.
They call him.
There's a doctor throwing up at a trash can.
My mom's she takes one look at me and looks away.
She screams.
It passes out. My dad brings in the smelling salts. Honey, it's okay. It's okay.
And later on, like, he's holding it over a well.
No, wait. We might be able to separate the fist from the foot. All right, but you better.
You better. Or this well's a-waiting.
Now whenever they see me punch my feet, they get nervous. Like, oh no, he's gonna He's gonna unlock the key.
But speaking of that, like, why would Frollo use it? Firstly, dump the baby in a well. People drink out of that.
He doesn't care. He's not drinking from it.
Secondly, why would you dump a baby in a well in front of a church?
Like, why don't you just throw it out, in a trash can?
Or just leave it.
Or maybe take it to the woods. I don't know how this works.
If you put it down and walk away, I can guarantee no one else is going to pick up that baby. Until a stray dog does.
Well, that's how you get Quasimodo and Mowgli mixed together. The Jungle Book kid.
Mowgli Moto?
Mowgli Moto. That sounds awesome, actually. Mowgli Moto. Sounds like a superhero.
It sounds like the...
Mojo Dojo.
It sounds like the name of a... giant Japanese robot.
Mowgli Moto. Yeah. He's gonna fight Godzilla when he gets alone.
They team up with the Power Rangers and the Megazord.
We need the power of Mowgli Moto.
That's him playing on the little flute.
Hop in! Oh, you dummy! Hop in, you big dummy! I would watch the shit out of that. I was a big Power Rangers fan. I know you know that. But if they added Red Fox into it, then yeah, I think I would be even. I think I would like it even better.
Oh, you dummy! I don't know how to do Japanese sound effects.
Just like any other sound effects. Like what's that guy who does the sound effects from the Police Academy movies? Ed Norton.
Yeah.
Then you. Is there any sound effect? My sound effects are terrible.
Your sound effects are just Roger Rabbit.
Please. Yeah, I can get behind that. All right, let's just do a quick sound effects test.
Go on.
All right, so I want you to do. I'll do it, and then you do it. The sound, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
Different things. So my challenge to you is a pickup truck rolling over a manhole cover. Go. Okay. I guess I'll try. That's
rolling over. You mean driving over?
Yeah.
Like rolling over means that the truck rolls over the manhole cover.
Yeah, I was wondering why yours was so elaborate.
Yeah.
Okay, mine's just gonna be
like when I drive to work, I'm not rolling the car to work.
Just rolling over that highway. All right, so you can pick a sound effect. Quickly.
All right, running in mud.
Oh. That's good, huh?
It wasn't bad.
Sounds like you're hammering something in mud.
I'm hammering Jell-O to the wall.
There was a brief time when I was, probably like 10 or 11 years old, where I had wanted to kind of go into the art of sound effects with my mouth, because it all spawned when I watched Spaceballs.
Okay, I can see that.
In that brief scene where the guy did we got the bloop bloop, and I thought then, I said to myself, I'm gonna learn how to do stuff like that, and I'm gonna become a sound effect artist. And I think I gave it up after 2 weeks. But I mean, still, 2 weeks is a long time when you're a kid. That's like half your life.
I remember. I think a lot of my inspiration came not from that, but maybe Uncle Joey from Full House.
Me too.
And I remember when I was a kid, I used to do the whole mouth trumpet thing, and then I used to do a decent bowling alley impersonation. And don't ask me how or how it went, because I don't remember, because it was in the 4th grade.
That was my next question. I was gonna.
No, this is like this Barney all over. I learned my lesson.
Come on, Britton, you can't invoke a whole bowling alley. that wasn't it. But at least I gave him something.
And, but yeah, like that. I was kind of, I think every kid back in the early 90s was trying to do the whole mouth sound effects, because there was a lot of shows that did that.
Yeah. I always thought that I was really good at doing impersonations when I was younger. Shut up. Because I remember doing the Jackalope from America's Funniest People.
Everyone did.
Yeah, and also Mr. Woodchuck from Full House.
Yep.
Without realizing, I'm like, oh, I can get both of these spot on, but without realizing that they are same exact voice. That the South can do, you'll never catch me. Is it? What?
I remember like the two big impressions at the on the schoolyard back then was that and Steve Urkel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did I unzip you?
You just jarred something loose. I don't even know if I want to tell this story.
But
you remember when you had that song, the Steve Urkel dance song?
Yes, I remember the Urkel dance.
Well, I don't know how I did it. Actually, I don't know how I did half the stuff that I did when I was in grade school, but I remember doing the Steve Urkel dance with like 3 or 4 kids behind me doing it with me. And...
No.
No, that's the end. That's the end of it. Nothing bad happened. I just don't know why.
Want to lose respect.
It wasn't a hard dance to do. Well, first you gotta do is hitch up your pants. You bend your knees and you stick out your pelvis. I'm telling you, baby, it's cooler than Elvis.
Better than Elvis.
Oh, so, and you're gonna lose respect for me. I also remember another thing I did. I don't know why the fuck the kids in the schoolyard would go around and assist me in any of this stuff, because I was a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
And nobody liked me.
But
apparently some of them did.
Enough to do the Urkel dance with.
Yeah, 3 or 4. I remember one girl's name was Megan. I can't remember her last name. It's probably for the best, but I had a crush on her, and she did it, and I guess I misread signs. I probably should have done something with that. But actually, no, I did, because I got her a Valentine's Day pen. For Valentine's Day, and I told her, like, oh, I've had a crush on you for a while, and she said, I know, and that was it. That was the end of that conversation.
Then again, like, what are you gonna do with a 3rd grade romance?
I know, but still, it would have been nice to
have some validation.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember one time I would walk around, we had the not wheat, the little, the little thing growing in the grass that had the little edges growing out.
The weeds.
Weeds, yes. So I remember I stuck 2 of those behind my ears, and I sat in the John Fitch where I went. We had this kind of like little landing with 2 doors that were right outside the auditorium, but no one went out there because there was no stairs really. There was just a landing that just dropped off.
Yeah.
I guess kind of like a stage or whatever. And it was right in front of the playground. So I remember just sitting there in the shade with my 2 little leafy weeds behind my ears, pretending I was Caesar, and kids would bring other kids, and say, "Oh, I found him by the," but they were playing along. But I found him by the slides, doing this and doing that, and I would just take him away.
This is how cults get started.
I don't know why the kids did that, because like I said before, I was a fucking nerd, and there wasn't a lot of kids who liked me, or at least maybe I didn't think they did.
It's because they were given a monochrome of authority.
Yeah. Once one kid puts those weeds in his ears and establishes himself as the Caesar.
Behead him.
Okay, Mark. No. Caesar. Marcus Caesarus.
Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
And this was right around the same time that I did the Grasshopper Park thing.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I remember going through, because we had this... we had a baseball, I guess, diamond in a fenced-off area.
Yeah.
And there was always tall grass in there because they just never cut the grass. And I always thought, okay, this is going to be the perfect place for Grasshopper Park, because Jurassic Park was very, very much on our minds. And so I even thought of how it would go with people coming in, seeing the grasshoppers, and then having little electric fences so they couldn't get out, because that's what they did in Jurassic Park. So I had everyone find grasshoppers and put them in and put him into this field of tall grass where the baseball diamond was. And actually, I remember this kid named James. He brought a few grasshoppers he found at home in those little, I guess, plastic terrarium things or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he brought a few, and we put him in there. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And then we went away for the weekend. We came back, and the grass had been cut. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh, that's the end of that. I never stopped to consider that all of these grasshoppers I've been saving are probably now just mulch.
I can't comment on the intelligence of grasshoppers, but I would hope that they had at least hopped away.
Welcome to Grasshopper Park. There went my dream, but I didn't. This could very easily be the start of like a super villain called the Grasshopperus, or something stupid. When I was a kid,
yeah,
I saved all the grasshoppers, and then my school took them away from me.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh.
My grasshopper suit would be. It would have hydraulic legs that would just make
launch
me.
You.
Yeah, that would just launch me. But of course, I'd probably be off. I probably could only do that once before I broke something. I lost balance. I landed on my arm and broke it.
You'll never catch me.
Ow! Medic! Another grade school story I have.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show why I was never popular, but no one ever found out about this one, was there was going to be a nice big fight in the baseball diamond.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about it at lunch, like, ooh, Bob is going to fight Jimmy. Oh, they be talking wise against each other, so they're going to have it out now. And so they're all gearing up for the fight, and for some reason I got in my head to just, I'm going to tell the monitor.
Oh man, you were a rat.
Yep, I was the rat. So I went to the monitor, and here's the funny part: I played it off well too, because I don't know why I didn't want them to fight. Because actually, I know exactly why I didn't want them to fight. Because
you wanted to get them in trouble.
No, because this is not what Caesar commanded. This went against Caesar's will. Caesar did not want the people to fight. He wanted to run a safe playground for everybody. So I went to the monitor, and someone's gonna fight in a baseball diamond. Okay. So the monitor went over to it, and I waited a few seconds, and I merged in with the crowd, and the monitor broke up the fight. And I remember one of the kids like, "Oh," and I said, "What happened?" "Oh, the monitor broke up the fight." "Oh, that sucks."
And blend in with the crowd.
Yep.
You're like the wind.
I have one other story like that, then I'm going to let you talk about your childhood, because I always feel that mine's depressing.
Mine is uneventful.
I remember this was actually in high school. It was in the 9th grade, and I was in the stage crew, and we were doing Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
And my job was the spotlights, but it was a rehearsal. It was a dress rehearsal day. We had some of our family and everything come in and see everybody do it, and you were allowed to screw up during dress rehearsal. Yeah. And there were a few mistakes, but we had a dry ice machine for certain moments, and we had the dry ice for to come over to stage. And one of the stage crew guys, he put the dry ice and a little bit of water in a bottle, a little plastic bottle, and he waited and he stood on it, and it popped. It was a nice little pop. And as soon as this was in the parking lot, and I was wearing, because it was nice out, it was cool. I was wearing a white shirt. No, I'm lying. I was wearing a white shirt, and as soon as it popped, the lights went on from the security. Mm-hmm. The security guard was right there in his car, and he pointed his flashlight. I was like, "Kid, stop right there!" And we all scattered, and I ran. And I came back, and I had a spare shirt for some reason in the stage booth. Yeah. So I ran up there, and I put my other shirt on. I came down, I merged in with the crowd, and one of the parents or something was like walking by, and she was fuming or something. She was like, "Oh, it's awful." I was like, "What's going on out there?" And she was like, "Some kids like lit off a bomb or a firecracker or something." And I was like, "This is ridiculous. We have a show going on." She's like, "I know." And I got away with it scot-free. I think they ended up catching one of the other guys, but I got away with it because I knew how to blend in with the crowd. Yep. I did the whole catch me if you can thing.
Yep. I don't have any barely got caught. Like I was like I didn't really do anything.
Oh.
I like school. Like school was just a place where I would go and put in my minimal amount of time, and until I had to leave. Occasionally, I was probably experimented on, like in elementary school.
Yeah, that happens. That does happen.
Like where they were just putting weird injections I had no idea in me.
Oh, and then you just grew 6 feet.
Well, this test subject was a failure.
Purge the system.
He's too big for it now.
I imagine if you went to the same, because I know you went to a different elementary school. I think you were in a different state. I'm not sure.
No, I was in PA. I was in Clara Barton.
Oh, okay. I imagine if you went to the elementary school the same time as I did, I want to believe that you would have had, somehow, that we wouldn't have been friends yet, but you would have had your own rival Caesar type thing. You would have been at the other end of the playground.
I would have been Genghis Khan.
Oh, he's trying to keep order on the playground, not with Britton around. I don't know why you're the bad guy, because clearly I would have been the aggressor in a situation like this.
I'm trying to bring, think of a...
Trying to bring science and learning.
And meanwhile, you're trying to burn the Library of Alexandria.
Like, you're showing kids little experiments. If you dig down far enough, this is more clay than dirt. Wow! And I'm over here pouring, having my minions pour water on it, so you can't play in it anymore.
You're having them pour molten gold down my throat.
See, I would do it like this. I would have them pour water on you. Hey, stop that! And then I'd tell the monitor you're playing in the mud, which you weren't allowed to do. Come with me, Britton. This isn't the end. It would start a big rivalry.
And like somehow I don't know what I would do. I'd probably take it too far.
It would escalate. You would you would clip one of the sides of the swing, so when I was swinging I would fall off it. I would weld safety pins to the sliding board, so when he went down he would just go right through it.
I would push you off the monkey bars.
I would cry. Monitor, he pushed me. Take him away.
And now I am Caesar.
You've been deposed.
I declare myself Caesar, and she goes down on a knee. My liege.
Well, I know when I've been bested. I'm twisted, I'm like...
You limp away and kick a can.
Like, you know how in those revenge stories the person's always got, like, deformities or scars?
It's like that guy from 300.
Yeah, I just have a little bit of an elbow sprain from falling off the monkey bars, and I use that I have a cape over me or a cloak over me and my slightly sprained elbow. And so I have 1 or 2 loyal followers. We strike back at him at dawn.
I have integrated into their ranks, sir.
Good. Gather the grasshoppers. Bring the plagues down. Bring them all down.
Oh, where are these bugs?
Oh, stomp. No!
My minions!
I don't want to play this game anymore. Then the molten gold comes out. You have to make an example of me. You take away my hands.
I break your thumb, or cut off your thumbs.
I'm just hanging on that platform by my thumbs for all to see.
I bring back crucifixion.
Someone please get me down.
Man, kids these days are really rough.
Monitor! I can't be seen talking to you. Oh. Bing!
She just calls you an outcast and spits on you.
Then the bell rings. Alright, and I just get down.
I untie you from the cross.
So, you better learn this lesson. Alright.
You better know who's in charge.
Alright. That's what I have to do for a week.
And then, just the next day you get to the Caesar spot before I do.
Hey! Hay is for horses.
I got here first. no fair. Oh, Caesar. Oh, Caesar last time. I'll crucify you twice next time.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Double crucify you.
I want to play Frisbee? Okay. Whee!
But you still call it. That's still mine. I call it.
I put something, leave
your hat.
I have someone else assume the throne while I'm gone.
I imagine you just leave your hat behind and I just sit there staring at it, hoping for a gust of wind. Not thinking that I could just take it and throw it.
I know, I imagine...
There's always these weird unwritten rules with kids.
You see, in my mind, that whoever I leave in charge, like, alright, Billy, you're in charge until I get back from Frisbee or from 4-ball. Okay. And he's ruthless. He is a ruthless tyrant, and then me and you have to team up to topple his regime.
That or like, I'm just the wormy advisor. You know, sir, you could topple him now, and then you would be Caesar, not he.
I like the way you think, Britton.
I'll just be your trusted advisor.
Where's the taxes? 4 pieces of pennies. 4 pence.
Collect gum from all of them.
I don't have any gum. My parents can't afford gum.
He says he's lying to you, my lord.
He's got the Band-Aid gum. I saw the tin. That's
Hang him.
Man, these kids are getting rough and rough. Help me! I can't be seen talking to you. Yeah.
And then next day I'm on the throne.
You smother him.
The Caesar has grown ill.
It's probably for the best that we weren't in the same school together.
Yeah,
there can only be one Caesar.
It would be like a Stanford experiment.
Maybe that's why. Maybe the monitors were telling the kids, "Listen, this kid's a nerd. Do whatever he says. I want to see if the power gets to his head," and it immediately did. All right, and again, I don't know why the kids. There wasn't a lot of kids. It wasn't like I had 100 of legions, or 100 of legions of kids running at But there was a dedicated 2 or 3.
Like I said, you gave them an inkling of power.
Once they saw just that little bit of authority, they responded to it.
Yeah.
So you mean I'm in charge? And this went on for like a week, where I was just sitting in the shade with my 2 pieces. And I don't know how. I wish I could review my life and see certain key events to see how it started, because I really think that I just sat there, put the 2 pieces of wheat in my hair, and said, "I am Caesar now," and they just fell for it.
Yeah, he has the wheat, so all right.
Wow, can I do that? No. Oh. All hail Caesar.
It reminds me a little bit of, I think I told this story before, but when I was in kindergarten, we had, I don't know if you remember these, constructs, like these toys called constructs, and you could build, like, they were a lot like Kinects, but, kind of different.
Okay.
And you could build little cars and, like, army trucks and stuff like that, and, weapons. Mm-hmm. And I me and this one kid who I don't think I ever talked to except to play constructs with, were building weapons and like trucks to face off with these other groups of kids who would also do the same thing, and we would pretend that we were having little battles and stuff like that. And when we wrapped up, I would always go to him, "Did we win?" And he would always go, "No." and like, I don't know why I thought to ask this kid whether or not we won the battle, but to his credit, there was one time he's like, "Yeah, you won."
We have to give it to you.
Yeah, he gave it to, like, like a lot of times people say, like, kids are, like, needlessly cruel or something like that. Like, even he, I don't know if he was showing compassion or sympathy. But he gave us the win one time.
You launched the Moab, and we couldn't do anything against that. I lost about 30% of my troops, so yeah, this one's yours.
So, the 2099, the soldier something
experiment protocol. I don't know.
What were your thoughts?
Bad. It was bad. Don't watch it. It was boring and stupid and bad and unfocused and bad.
I thought, it was a little bit boring. I have a soft spot for science experiment movies. This one didn't really scratch the itch I was looking for.
No science.
Yeah, the science was a little bit wanting, but yeah, take with that what you will.
Alrighty.
All right,
Take it easy.
a toodaloo.
That'll hold a little SOBs.